So how bad would it suck if you bought an HDMI cable that says it's 4K, put it in your house when your home's being built, sheetrock was up, hooked up your 4K TV and it didn't work? Yeah, this company makes them, along with a bunch of others. Stay tuned, let's go into the details on them. All right guys, Tech Tip Tuesday. Eric with The Loop here in Boise. Today we're going to do a fun one, especially for people like me, because we call out products out there that just don't work. For those that weren't aware, the HDMI industry is flooded, absolutely flooded with complete crap. And we're going to test some HDMI cables so you guys can see what is snake oil and what is real. First thing was we needed some test equipment. So our partner, we called them up and we said, hey, we're going to run these tests. We need some test equipment where we can put everything at it. They said, no problem. So they loaned us their $4,000 HDMI tester, okay? We then went and jumped onto Amazon, bought a $40 HDMI cable. We also got one of our cables manufactured by Bullet Train, AV Pro Edge. This cable, quite a bit different. Same length, but this cable right here is about $250, right? So you're going 40 bucks, 250. I might as well just buy this one and save the money, right? Wrong. We're gonna go into it. We're gonna show you all about it. All right, so when we're looking at this test equipment, Meridio, certified by ISF, meaning that they are guaranteed that if it says it's outputting a 4K 18 gig stream, it's outputting a 14 gig 18 gig stream. What we're gonna do, we're gonna hook that HDMI between these, and we're gonna see what we get. So when we start, 3840 by 2160, so that's a full 4K stream. We're also sending full HDR, uncompressed, which means for this signal to make it to here, we have to get a full 18 gigs for that to happen, okay? So let's go ahead and have some fun here. What we're gonna do, we're gonna start with our Amazon $40 cable. We'll go ahead and plug that into our sending unit, okay? We're gonna plug the other end into our receiving unit. So you can see here, we're still broadcasting our 3840 by 2160. We have no signal. We're not getting anything. Zero data transfer at 4K 18 gig. All right, so you can see nothing's getting through. Let's go over and flip over to one of our 18 gig short haul cables. So right here, this is by Cords. Amazing, amazing quality product, right? So we're still at our 3840 by 2160. We're gonna go ahead and plug in our receiver. Go ahead and plug that in. So right now you can see we have our HDCP light lit up, meaning that it's actually going through the handshake right there. There we go, timing is accurate. 3840, 2160. Test pattern came through. We're good to go. Cable works, all right? Now let's flip over to something big. This is a 10-meter Bullet Train. We'll put a link down below on these guys. So this is the only thing we pull, okay? Bullet Train. What I'm gonna show you now, we're gonna go ahead and do this. In a second here, I'll show you why, okay? You can see there's the whole cable, nothing special about it. Our sender is still sending that full 3840, 2160, 4K, 18 gig. We'll go ahead and plug in our receiver. It's going to go through its HDCP handshake, make sure everything's square, and they'll go ahead and flip over, give us our results, 3840 by 2160 at 60 hertz, and give us our test pattern. All right, so you can see it's passing the whole signal. So these cables are not the same. This is super important, you guys, because we'll put a link down below to this piece of crap cable that someone's selling on Amazon trying to tell you that it's the same thing. That's really not. So you can even go see for yourself. I think we need to cut apart this one from Amazon. All right, let's go ahead and cut this thing open, see what we have going on inside. So you can see there's a couple things here. One, their braid on the outside really isn't even a braid. It just kind of falls apart. So we can see that. We'll then go and look at the inside of it. So go ahead and peel that foil off. Let's see what we got inside. Okay. So you can see here's our individual wires. They did do a couple things good here in that they shielded some of them. The problem is, of course, that it doesn't matter if they shielded it or not because the cable doesn't pass the signal anyways. Obviously, they're not doing anything here over fiber. They're doing everything over copper. And copper actually maxes out at 10.2 gigs, which means that if they don't have fiber in here, it's physically impossible. That's not a loop. That's not a loop argument. That's nothing. We'll actually put a link down at the bottom that will take you over to that, and then you can actually see it on a certified site. Okay guys, well now you can see we got this cable all ripped apart. There is no fiber anywhere in here. So since we know that you need fiber to be able to run 18 gig, that's why this isn't working. So right here we have what's probably our power pair and our drain. Some other conductors for sync and such, but none of these in here are fiber. So it's just another false advertising, false product that doesn't actually even do what it says it does on Amazon. So I went ahead and we cut up that bullet train cable. So completely different cable. One of the first things you should notice is that there just aren't as many conductors. Part of that is because they're doing it over fiber. Another thing is, you can see back here, this braid is actually Kevlar. So they do that to ensure that strength, make sure they're not gonna have any damage. And actually, here's the biggest part of bullet train cables, is right here. But what this is right here, this is actually the fiber that's inside it that they're using to carry the stream. So if you look, there's actually 4 individual fiber streams there, okay? So in the connector, it's doing the copper to fiber conversion, then at the other end it converts it back. So you can see on here, they're actually individually labeled for display and source. And there's actually your fiber. And the crazy part is, you guys, that the fiber's not even that big. This is a coating that they put over the fiber. So if we actually strip this back, all right, so there you go, guys. That's broken down to 1 individual strand of fiber. So there's our strand, and this is a different type of fiber than the normal glass. You can see here, this is what we put in all of our homes that we wire. So it's actually a fiber composite. I can bend it and it doesn't break, okay? But you can see there, that's 1 individual strand, and these guys run 3 of them, 3 more. So you have 4 total strands. Give us all kinds of flexibility down the road. All right, guys, so now we're gonna take our bullet train cable. We're gonna split this apart and see what's on the inside. All right. So let's look inside. So here you go, guys. This is where people like me get really excited, because this is actually the device here. So what's happening is that the fiber strands, and you can see them right there, fiber strand comes in, goes into this little receiver portion here. Then there's a sensor in here, basically like a photo cell, that senses that blinking light, and it converts that blinking light over to an 18 gig HDMI signal, right? So it leverages that circuitry on the other side to do that conversion. All right, and that is your bullet train HDMI cable. Let's take a look at the other one. Now let's go ahead and cut this one apart and see what's in here. Okay, so one of the first things you guys will notice there is that when we look at this, there is no metal shield over this. So all that braiding that you saw when we had it opened up, where they had all that foil to protect all the conductors, you can see here it doesn't even matter, because not only do they not have any foil covering any of those wires, preventing any type of interference, those are actually fully exposed wires inside that plastic mold. See, they're on the other side too. So quality of work is not really something that is apparently too prevalent at this manufacturer. But we already knew that, right? Because they're telling you their cables do something that they don't even do. So let's see. We'll see if we can cut this open now. All right, guys, well, you can't say they didn't try really hard on their hot glue to mold that hot glue around there, but you can see back here, look at this one, you can see how all their shielding ends way back here. So those wires are fully exposed in that portion, right? Which is a little bit goofy because that's the part where this is right next to all the electronics. So right here, the part where it'd be most susceptible to interference, none of the wires are covered, which could be part of the reason it doesn't seem to pass any signals except for some 1080p, which is all we get to run through it. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. That was fun. Kids, don't try that at home. Box knives are not to be designed as screwdrivers. Difference between bullet train and our $40 Amazon, basically useless HDMI cable. Guys, this is what really frustrates me about this industry. I see this too often, where specs and scope of what things will supposedly do is here, what actually gets delivered is down here. No matter what it is, look for some certifications to guarantee it. Also, keep in mind what you're buying. Look at the risk, right? This cable, huge risk. Best case scenario, a couple days, getting this routed, getting it set up, getting all that done, then you find out it doesn't work. Was it worth the $150 savings? Not to mention that then in 5 or 10 years, your house is obviously sheetrocked, it's completely done. You can't do anything with this cable. It's then useless. This one, companies like us can come in, cut the ends off, put fiber adapters on there. You're up and going for whatever speed you need. All right, that wraps up this Tech Tip Tuesday. Make sure and comment down below. Let us know what you want to see. Make sure and subscribe when we put the next one out, when we rip apart a receiver, pull apart a Control 4 controller, pull apart some other stuff so that you guys can see what's actually going on inside with these products. All right, if you thought this one was good, like it so that we know, so we can make some more of them for you, okay? All right, guys, have a great Tuesday.